This is Jacqueline Wales of the Fearless Factor, and welcome to Fearlessly Speaking, 2 or 3 minutes. I want to talk to you today about something that I am truly passionate about, which is going to sound a little bit crazy, but here it is. Uncertainty. Now, I heard a great quote the other day that the quality of your life is predicated upon how much uncertainty you can live with comfortably. Now, this kind of runs counter to how most people like to operate. Most people want a certain degree of certainty in your life. You want to know that there's a job there, that there's a paycheck there, that your family will always be there, that anything that you choose to do in your life will have the right outcome for you. But we all know that there are no guarantees in life, and that tomorrow everything that we are familiar with could get ripped away. And you see that again and again throughout natural disasters and so forth. There's no telling where our life is going. And the fact of the matter is that this moment here is our only real moment. Because everything else is simply a function of the past and our imagination of what goes into the future. And the future is an uncertain place. So I want to ask you this question today. What in your life are you willing to do to be uncertain? And when you are feeling uncertain, how do you cope with that? How do you manage that? How are you implementing that sense of uncertainty in order to improve the quality of your life? So I spent a lot of years learning the discipline of martial arts. But what I also discovered in that was that there were 6 important elements to it. Make the commitment, have the discipline, be focused, follow through, and most importantly, consistency of action. Now here's what I'll tell you about consistency in my life. I hated being consistent, frankly. I had a boss when I was in my early 30s who said to me, Jacqueline, the most consistent thing about you is your inconsistency. And because I didn't want to be part of the general milieu, I said, right, I'm glad I'm not consistent. However, it doesn't get you very far. And this is something that I had to learn the hard way. Consistency is everything, whether it's in life or in business. Now, I'm not talking about doing the same old time after time. That's not the consistency I'm talking about. But being on task, being action-oriented, being in some kind of a groove with the path that you have chosen and doing it consistently will get you the results. I like to say if we take the right actions in the right order over the right amount of time, you'll get the right results. Now, what does that mean? That means I was consistent. Right actions over the right amount, or the right order, and the right amount of time to get the right results. It doesn't come just by wishing and hoping. But the discipline I really want to talk to you about today is that self-discipline that it takes for us to reach our goals. When you set a specific vision of what it is that you want to achieve in life, are you taking the right action steps? Are you getting the right kind of support you need in order to fulfill that vision of where you think you're going? Self-discipline is one of the hardest things that people have to deal with. And usually when I say to people, my clients, when they come in, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your discipline level? And that's frequently a place where people fall down. And that's where you need accountability. That's where you need somebody who's going to be riding on you to say, okay, it's time for you to show up. And that's what I got in martial arts. My teachers were very, very good at saying to me, again, again, again. And through that repetition of action, I learned the discipline to do it on my own. And I apply it to everything I do. I mean, I've made a huge success in 5 years of the Fearless Factor. Why? Because on a daily basis I showed up and I did the stuff that even I was uncomfortable with, and I would still have to do it. Being focused was a very important part of my martial arts training. Because if I wasn't focused on that person that I was fighting with, guess what? He or she was going to beat the hell out of me. And of course I couldn't let that happen. So I had to be focused on not only what they were doing directly in my vision, but what they were doing in my peripheral vision. So as I stand here, I can see the rest of the room surrounding me, even though I'm looking directly at you in the camera. So when you're thinking about that focus in your life, what are you focused on? Many times we're focused on the wrong things, frankly. We focus on our negative thinking, we focus on the things that are going wrong in our life. What would happen if you focused on the exact opposite? Now, when I was in a fight, it was very, very important for me to follow through on all of my movements. Okay, so if a punch was coming in, I'd have to block it. But not only would I have to block it, I would then have to follow with another punch on the other side. So the follow-through in the process of being engaged in the fight was extremely important, because the moment I didn't follow through, guess what? You lose. It's that simple. What follow-through do you have in your life that you can say you're applying your commitment, your discipline, and your focus to? And if you don't have that, what is it that stops you from taking things to the next level? Because all of these things that I'm teaching you on these weekly videos, put them all together and they will make a huge difference in your life. Many people give up too early. They give up when we're just about to make that breakthrough. They give up because they don't have all the information that they need, and so they stop. Or they give up because they're too busy chasing what I call the bright shiny object syndrome. All these different distractions that lead you on paths that are not the one that you're meant to be on. When I started the Fearless Factor 5 years ago, I had a vision of what I wanted to achieve. And there's been many, many times along the way when I looked at it and I went, oh geez, can I really do this? But I've managed to persist, persevere, and the payoff is that I'm here now doing these videos and talking to you about it, because I am absolutely convinced that if we stick with something long enough, we will in fact get what we want. Now, I know that change is hard. For all of us, change is hard. I'm asking you to step outside of the comfort zone into the discomfort zone, which is always a transitional phase. I'm not saying you have to dwell there forever, but that resistance that you feel to, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's really what I want. I don't know if this is the direction that I need to take. You can come up with all kinds of excuses you like, but frankly, they're just excuses. And it's resistance. Now, I've talked about all the different steps in martial arts. What did I learn in martial arts? And one of the things that I did find is that when you resist, you will get beaten up. When you resist, someone else will win. But when you're connecting and you're moving through and you're in that flow and you're definitely doing all the things that you've learned how to do, resistance becomes fluid and you move right through it. So if you're not moving through the resistance in your life, what is it that's holding you back? I have a question for you today. What's your story? You know, we all are a collection of stories. Stories that we use to justify our existence. Things that we say about ourselves. Things that we bring with us as part of our history, as a reason for why we are how we are, or why we don't do what we would like to do. We all have stories, and many of them are bullshit stories. Now, I say this with great compassion, because truly we all are the sum of our past and who we are today. But many times what happens is that people drag their past along with them like this, the old ball and chain, and it keeps them stuck in places where they would really like to be set free. But the only way that you can set yourself free, and you've heard this axiom before, which is the truth will set you free. And when you think about your stories, which are really your belief systems, think about which one of those are true and which are not. Because as I say, we've all got bullshit. All got bullshit stories. And we can in fact step out of the bullshit. You know, I've been called the human sanitation officer because I help you take out the garbage. So the bullshit stories that you're telling yourself, sit down and think about them. Think about your beliefs. Think about the negative consequences of those beliefs. And then think about how you want to reverse that and make it another type of story that will give you the freedom of choice, that will give you the freedom of achieving what it is that you want to achieve. And if you want to speak to me, you can reach me at www.thefearlessfactor.com or send me an email to Jacqueline@thefearlessfactor, because I'll help you wipe out that bullshit in no time at all. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.